Former U.S. President Barack Obama said when trying to distance Islamic theology from the tactics of Islamic terror groups, the vast majority of terrorist victims around the world are Muslim. It is obviously true that various Islamic terror groups target other Muslims, but their methods cannot be distanced from Islamic law so easily. Looking through the lens of history of Islam allows us to understand more adequately the tragic inter-Islamic violence we see today, including the violence against Muslims by Islamic extremist groups. The objection commonly held and previously expressed in Obama's statement that Muslims killing other Muslims isn't Islamic is false, as I will show. Before an objection is raised, it is wise to ensure that to the extent practical, it wasn't previously raised and refuted. Such is the case with the objection that Muslims killing Muslims isn't Islamic. You can find a lengthy narration which gives valuable insight into inter-Islamic violence in Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 9, Book 96. Feel free to read this in its entirety. I'll simply quote the key texts. In Islamic law, Muhammad's authority is unquestioned. Chapter 28 of Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 9, Book 96 states, "If the messenger decided something, it was not permissible for any human being to suggest something other than Allah's messenger's decision." Muhammad's sayings and deeds constitute much of Islamic law. This is well known, but due to the need for understanding things from an Islamic perspective, it is important to emphasize the supreme authority of Muhammad as it relates to Islamic law. Now, with that out of the way, things get really interesting. I'll just read the quotation first and then clarify it. Abu Bakr decided to fight those who refused to pay the zakat. Umar said to him, "How dare you fight them?" when Allah's messenger said, "I have been ordered to fight the people till they say, La ilaha illallah." So let's take this section by section. The first part, Abu Bakr decided to fight those who refused to pay the zakat. Now the zakat is a Muslim tax. It's a charity tax, effectively, levied on Muslims by Muslims. So Abu Bakr had decided to fight other Muslims. Now Umar said in his objection, "How dare you fight them when Allah's messenger said, I have been ordered to fight the people till they say La ilaha illallah." Now this phrase is the first part of the Shahada, the Islamic confession of faith, that there is no one who is worthy to be worshipped except for Allah. So Umar is saying, how dare you fight them when Allah's messenger said, I have been ordered to fight people until they say this. That is, Allah's messenger was ordered to fight people until they said the Shahada, until they became Muslims. Now I've rephrased this just for convenience, but what Umar is saying is, Abu Bakr, Muhammad said to fight people until they become Muslims. But if they're supposed to pay the zakat, they already are Muslims. So why are you, a Muslim, fighting other Muslims? Now this sounds very much like the objection I started out the first part of the video with. Muslims killing other Muslims is not in accordance with Islamic law. But just as quickly as Umar's objection was raised, it was defeated by Abu Bakr. The narrative continues, Abu Bakr did not heed any counsel because he had the verdict of Allah's messenger concerning those people. The verdict was, according to Muhammad, if someone changes his Islamic religion, then kill him. And this was the nuance in Islamic law that Umar was not aware of. If someone is deviating from the zakat, which is a requirement under Islamic law, then they are changing their Islamic religion. They are hypocrites, and they are to be killed, according to the law of Muhammad. Umar conceded he was wrong. He said, by Allah, it was nothing, but I noticed that Allah opened Abu Bakr's chest toward the decision to fight. Therefore, I realized that his decision was right. Umar's objection was soundly defeated by Abu Bakr. Therefore, Abu Bakr and Umar set the standard for the other rightly guided caliphs and future Muslims. They did so with the full authority of Muhammad, the Quran, and personal confirmation by Allah. I fail to understand how something can be more Islamic than that. As such, interfaith fighting, persecution, and killing of Muslims of various sects and lesser devotion and adherence to Islamic law has ancient roots, right back to the 7th century Arabia. Ironically, right back to the same place, many modern misunderstandings, like the quote at the start of this video, are also themselves defeated.